When we think of classical languages, we usually picture a marble Roman bust or an ancient Greek scroll. Latin, ancient Greek, and Sanskrit built empires and laid the foundations of civilization. But today, their active daily use is essentially frozen in time. They are historical relics, fading away into the archives. There is, however, an exception. Tamil is a classical language that has been continuously spoken since the 3rd millennium BCE, with written records firmly dating back to 300 BCE. If you look at this photographic evidence from the Keladi archaeological site, you can see the sheer scale of this timeline. Excavation pits like these, along with findings at Adichanallur, ground the origins of this language deep in antiquity. And you likely speak pieces of it without realizing it. English vocabulary has absorbed Tamil loanwords for centuries. If you've ever ordered a curry, eaten a bowl of kanji, or talked about an anaconda, you are using the echoes of ancient South Asia. How did a language born alongside dead empires avoid their fate? How does it remain a thriving global language today? Tamil's survival stems from a deliberate design, a linguistic architecture built to withstand the stress tests of history. This animated diagram shows the core mechanic of Tamil, a property called agglutination. In an agglutinative language, complex words are formed by taking a base root word and endlessly snapping on suffixes. You can stack modifiers one by one, building massive, highly specific structural units without altering the original root. Looking at this excerpt of classical Tamil grammar, you can see how strictly codified the language is. This rigid foundation triggered an explosion of classical Sangam poetry, systematically dividing human experience into the inner life, Akam, and the outer life, Puram. This strive for standardization eventually moved from grammar to human conduct. The Tirukkural, Tamil's foundational ethical text, mirrored this structural precision by applying logic to social life, rejecting birth-based hierarchies, and holding sovereigns accountable to a clear moral code. Take a look at this wide shot of the 1948 United Nations Assembly. We usually frame universal human dignity as a modern concept codified here, but the Tirukkural articulated identical principles of moral equality and social justice almost 2 millennia earlier. By standardizing its grammar and its ethical philosophies so early on, Tamil forged a cultural anchor capable of weathering thousands of years of political upheaval. A language cannot survive on poetry and grammar alone. Across South India, Tamil functioned as the practical, everyday language of commerce for early maritime traders. In this map of the Indian Ocean, you can trace the geographic expansion of the Chola dynasty. They exported their culture, art, and language far beyond the subcontinent, reaching deep into Java, the Khmer Empire, Thailand, and Egypt. This photograph of a towering Dravidian temple gopuram is physical proof of that footprint. The Cholas left a lasting architectural synthesis across Southeast Asian societies, deeply influencing local aesthetics. Archaeologists have uncovered physical Tamil merchant inscriptions in Thailand, Indonesia, and all the way to the Red Sea coast. By positioning itself as an economic necessity across international waters, the language became a durable tool for regional power rather than a local dialect. This diagram illustrates another major survival mechanism, diglossia. This is a sociolinguistic condition where a single language splits into 2 parallel tracks to handle entirely different societal needs. The first track is Sen Tamil. This is the high, formal, classical register. It is strictly preserved in textbooks and public speaking, which means a modern student can still read an 8th century inscription with relative ease. The second track is Kotum Tamil, the low, colloquial register. As you can see in the texture of this torn street movie poster, Kotum Tamil is the language of pop culture, regional dialects, and the gritty chaos of everyday life. This colloquial side allows the language to evolve rapidly. In modern urban centers, it seamlessly mixes with English to form hybrids like Tanglish. Diglossia is the ultimate defense mechanism. The formal register protects the sacred ancient history, while the colloquial register absorbs the messy, evolving present. The modern era of the language is defined by an active defense of its core identity, seen clearly in the 20th century Tani Tamil Iyakkam, the pure Tamil movement. Scholars and politicians deliberately stripped Foreman and Sanskritic loanwords out of their vocabulary to protect the language's distinct Dravidian roots. Today, it boasts a massive global footprint. It is spoken natively across India, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and Singapore, with huge diaspora populations thriving in North America and beyond. While Latin and Ancient Greek are studied in classrooms as relics of bygone eras, Tamil proves that an ancient classical language can remain a living, breathing entity. Through rigid grammatical architecture, dual-register adaptability, and the cultural devotion of its speakers, Tamil operates as an unbroken bridge, connecting the ancient world to tomorrow.